Hooray for Hollywood! Hello there, Stan the Movie Man here with your WIMZ.com movie review. This week at WIMZ.com you voted for me to go see Frankenweenie. It is a stop-motion animated film from Tim Burton, who has made, this is his third one now, it is the story of a young man, a young boy named Victor Frankenstein, whose pet dog Sparky gets hit by a car and killed. Now, Sparky is about Victor's only friend, and of course Victor is heartbroken. He has a science teacher by the name of Mr. Rice Krusky, who explains to him and the class that electricity, we're all just sort of versions of wires and gears and springs, and electricity is the force that drives us. And he demonstrates that on a dead frog, making its little legs move around. So that gives Victor an idea. He goes to the pet cemetery where Sparky's buried, digs him up, collects various and sundry electrical appliances from around the house, sets some kites sailing on a stormy night with some wires attached to them, and when they are struck by lightning, the lightning is directed to a bed where Sparky is laying, and Sparky comes back to life. But Victor knows that this will upset a lot of people, so he tries to keep Sparky's reanimation a secret, especially from his parents. But one day Sparky gets out, and some of Victor's friends see him as the science fair is approaching. They decide that they need to copy what Victor has done in order to win the science fair, and trouble ensues, as you might guess. Of course, this is patterned quite closely after Frankenstein, the townspeople all gather with torches and pitchforks and various other things in one part of the film, and there's a kid whose last name is Gore. His middle initial is E, so he's Edgar E. Gore, and he's kind of a hunchback kid. If the film is going to run into any kind of trouble, it's going to be because they have a kind of a stereotypical Asian character who is devious and is constantly videotaping. That could raise a bit of a stink. And the other thing that I kind of found troubling about the film is, if you've ever had a pet that you loved deeply and the pet has died, you know how painful that is, and you know how badly you wish you could have that pet back. And in this movie, that happens. Victor gets his dog back. I have a feeling some young children who don't quite comprehend what death really is will get confused and hope that they can do the same thing with their pet. Parents may have a kind of difficult conversation to have about death with their children, but otherwise, I really enjoyed the movie. It's very entertaining. It has a kind of very bizarre, odd, Tim Burton-esque look to it. Some of the characters are just absolutely hideous looking, which you would expect in this kind of film. And they bear a great deal of resemblance to some of the characters in Burton's second stop-action animated film, Corpse Bride. Oddly enough, Johnny Depp does not provide a voice in this movie, but otherwise it is a pretty typical, skewed, weird Tim Burton movie that tells a kind of normal tale, but in an abnormal kind of way. But it is very enjoyable, I thought, with the exception of, those couple of little things that I mentioned earlier. But despite that, I'm giving it 5 guitars. Go to WIMZ.com to read my complete review, as well as to vote on the movie that I see next time. If you have any questions or comments, you can send them to me at stanthemovieman@att.net, and you can follow me on Twitter at MovieManStan. Till next time, later.